It's 7:03 on this Friday, October 16th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome on a Friday morning. Glad to have you with us and glad to be on the air for Wilson Bank and Trust. This morning, Jill Booker is here to talk about Wilson Bank Trust. Do the commercial, if you will. And Jill, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Now, there's been a few times in the past when you came and I wasn't here and you were thinking I might still be on vacation.
I did. I was glad to see you this morning.
Well, I'm glad to see you. Jill is Assistant Vice President and Office Manager, and you manage the Castle Heights branch at 1130 Castle Heights North here in Lebanon, right close to 231 North, and quite a busy place, isn't it?
It is. There's lots of new development, lots of subdivisions that are coming in, so it's definitely growing, that part of town.
Well, any particular thing, any message you have for us?
Well, I just want to remind everybody that we are a full-service office. Our lobbies are open. Our drive-through, of course, is open. We are still using extra precaution, cleaning extra. You can come in with a mask or without, but we are here to serve you. Of course, we're a full-service office. Like I said, we can help you with any financial needs when it comes to making a purchase, refinancing on your home, construction, HELOCs. Rates are really good, so it's a great time to buy, build, or refinance.
Well, a lot of what a bank does is make loans. That's one of the one of the big ways, really, that you make money. Of course, with interest rates lower, maybe you have to make more loans. I don't know.
They are really low right now. Our deposit customers aren't as happy, but we do still have some special CD specials. We have got rate risers with those, so definitely call into any one of our locations. My locations, of course, is 615-443-0492, because we do always have rate specials on our CDs.
How long have you been the branch manager?
I have been the branch manager for over, I think, 9 years, excuse me.
At this location?
At this location. I've been with the bank for 22 years.
Yeah. Well, what were you at this location prior to being?
I was part-time at the Mount Juliet office, and then I became full-time at Castle Heights. So I started out as a teller, and then head teller, and then new accounts, and assistant manager, and then manager. So
usually, to have the position you have to work in some other ways to kind of get established, learn the whole banking system, and no doubt that experience helps then in what you're doing now.
Absolutely, yes. So, I mean, I can help with lending, but I also open up accounts and IRAs, CDs. I can really, I'll get behind the teller row. I can really do all of it. So I feel like a better perspective because I can do all of that.
Right. And you have a pretty good staff there.
I do. I have a really good staff. And I really strongly believe in cross-training and developing our young people.
Well, I have to say, your branch is the one that I normally visit, and I haven't been inside in quite a while.
You have not, and we are noticing that.
Using the drive-up, though, and it works well.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Well, you have very courteous people there who every once in a while the line will be 3 or 4 cars. Sometimes you hit it where you drive right up and you're it. But
that's right.
But I think y'all have adapted well to that.
We have. And, a lot of people are, just still cautious, but you can call and we can get all your information, make appointments. We want to make sure our customers are safe and comfortable, but of course our employees as well.
But if you want to come inside, are masks required?
They are not. So it depends on the individual. We just want you to be comfortable.
Right.
And obviously, if you're in my office, I'm going to ask if it's going to make you more comfortable, should I put a mask on? But we have a barrier as well, the plexiglass.
Well, you're very comfortable with the way things are going right now.
Yes.
Dealing a little extra cleanliness, precaution, this sort of thing. We don't know how much longer this is going to go on, but banking is still going on. People,
Yes.
and I think our economy has improved some.
Yes.
We had a little tougher time there in April and May that
We
we've
did.
overcome.
Uncertainties,
And we're not back to where we were, but maybe we're well on our way.
I think so.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What else you want to tell us this
Well,
morning?
we're not having our annual Oktoberfest because, of course, of COVID, but we do have some fall items that you can still participate in. We've got our pumpkin decorating contest that is virtual, and you can win some cash. So you can check out our Facebook or Instagram to do that. Also, it's not too late to submit your best fall photo for our virtual Oktoberfest photographs. That's till today, so you can check that out. And then I got news that the fairgrounds is having Ghost in the Grove event at the Fiddler's Grove, and that's on Fridays and Saturdays. So these are just kind of some fun events to do in October.
Right. Had to change our plans a little bit, but everything is not gone. There's still some things to do.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, we thank you for being here. Is that it?
That is it.
All right. Well, it's for once you have done the commercial when I was here.
Yes, I'm glad to see you.
Well, I like I said, you're where I go when I need to do business at Wilson Bank, and almost on a weekly basis. I think you've got a great location and a great staff, and doing a really good job. I'll brag you on you a little bit.
Thank you. I want to be your banker, so I appreciate that.
Jill Booker, she is Assistant Vice President and Office Manager for the Castle Heights branch, which is located at 1130 Castle Heights North, Lebanon, Tennessee. And as we always close out by saying, Wilson Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender, they're still here, still independent, still committed to you. Middle Tennessee's community bank. Jill, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we're 9:30 after the hour, and here on this Friday morning, believe it or not, we have the fourth of four candidates for mayor who are actually paying for time to be on the program this week and today. Now, I'm not going to say we've saved the best for the last. He might say that. John DeMoore is here,
Good morning.
also known as Johnny Counterfeit. Good morning.
Well, I get called a lot of things, especially now during the campaign.
Well, John, good to see you, and really you're more Johnny to me because I know you more from your professional being Johnny Counterfeit than I do otherwise, but you've been here in Lebanon for quite some time.
I have. During this time, I've done national television, radio, concerts and theaters, and a couple of performances at the White House. So I believe in getting things done, and priorities is my main thrust as the next mayor of Lebanon, if the folks elect me.
When did you decide that you wanted to be mayor and that you were definitely going to run?
Well, I was started thinking about it last year because I didn't like some of the things that were not being done in our city that I saw that could be implemented and accomplished rather quickly. But the serious decision, yes, I'm going to run, occurred this past May. Mm-hmm. And I started putting together my campaign. And I decided that the main thrust, as I said, of my campaign are going to be setting priorities, getting things done. As an example, a couple of months ago, about 6 weeks ago at a city council meeting, two separate ordinances were proposed to borrow up to $3 million from the city of Clarksville, Tennessee, to repair and update our gas system for the city of Lebanon. Now, as mayor, I would say no to that loan. First of all, in the ordinance, the information is not given what that loan is going to cost us as a city. I would love nothing better than to say no to that loan and then later on go to the citizens of Lebanon and say, oh, by the way, the city council and I just spent $3 million of our rainy day fund, which I understand is at $20 million. Yeah. We just spent $3 million of that rainy day fund to update and repair our city gas system that serves all of you so that it can remain safe and reliable. That's a priority for me. The water department. Several months ago, I attended a city council meeting where the engineer in charge of our water treatment plant warned the city council and the mayor that there's a major pump at the water treatment plant that needs to be replaced. It's a real danger right now. As I said, it should be replaced. Again, I would love nothing more as the next mayor of Lebanon to go to the citizens and say, by the way, we just spent X amount of dollars from our rainy day fund to replace that major pump to assure citizens of safe drinking water, bathing, cooking water. These are the kinds of priorities that I'm talking about, tackling. And I mean immediately, within the first quarter of next year, starting to get these things done. Planning, have a timetable. All right, we're going to start here, and we're going to have it done by this date. of course, it'll depend on the equipment purchase and all that. But I think we need to get it done right now. The gas situation, we have record low natural gas prices. I'd like to take a look at that department, how much money the city makes from citizens by selling them the natural gas. And because of the low prices that city would pay for natural gas, I'd like to take a look at the possibility of being able to rebate back to the citizens, rebate back every spring, depending on the balance sheet. Well, we made this amount of money. We're going to rebate this money back to the citizens. After all, they paid it in. Maybe we can pay it back to them, a portion of it, so that we can all win. We can all prosper.
Now, you're talking about the $20 million rainy day fund. How much do you think we ought to have an emergency fund? And if so, how much? And at what point do we touch that?
Well, it's very difficult to set either a limit or a minimum. I think that sort of flexibility that we all recognize in our daily lives with our own budgets, we need to take a look at what the priorities are. In these cases, I wouldn't say, well, gee, we should only have 20 million and we should only have 10 million. Utilize the money there for these essentials, the gas system, the water treatment plant, and I have some other things in mind. So I would dare not give you a specific fee, but I think the $3 million for the repair of our gas plant, I think that's a good expenditure. I think the citizens will support that. And I think the city council will see the logic in that, rather than borrowing money to get something done when we can already pay for it.
Okay, we've come to the time when we need to take a break right here. John DeMoore, candidate for mayor, is with us. We've got a lot more to discuss shortly after this break on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:15. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank Absolute Kubota and Rental. Large inventory of new and used Kubota mowers, RTVs, tractors, hay equipment, and more. Come in Saturday. Free popcorn. Check out the new Kubota products. 1325 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Well, good morning. It's looking better here on 65 southbound here in Franklin, south of Highway 96 from that earlier car fire. We're just watching that traffic build northbound coming up through this part of Williamson County. Sure, we've seen a couple of accidents out here. They just reported one over in Neely's Bend with injuries. 1000 block of Cheyenne Boulevard, 3600 block of Trousdale Drive, South Nashville on a two-car crash. Celebrate autumn at Ober-Gatlinburg during Oktoberfest. Now through November 1st, visit obergatlinburg.com. I'm Commander Chuck, your on-time traffic.
She's taken care of you your whole life. Now it's your turn to take care of her. But with a family of your own and other responsibilities, there just aren't enough hours in the day. That's why it might be time to call the Pavilion Senior Living. From bathing, dressing, housekeeping, and meals, the Pavilion Senior Living is committed to being senior living you can trust for your loved one. Find out more at pavilionseniorliving.com or call 444-5556. That's 444-5556.
The Phantom Fiddler presents the 10th annual Ghost in the Grove, October 16th and 17th. Tours are 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. every 15 minutes. Tickets on sale now. Call 615-547-6111. $10 adults, $5 ages 6 to 16. Meet Tennessee Ghostbusters, Scuffle Moths, the Phantom Fiddler, and the Inglewood Old Time String Band. It's at Fiddler's Grove at the James E. Ward Ag Center.
WANT is proud to announce the return of the Fakes and Hooker Scoreboard Show. Every Friday night, we will bring you local scores and interviews with Wilson County coaches directly after the LHS football game. The 2020 Scoreboard Show is brought to you by Fakes and Hooker, Burdine Supply, Designers Carpet, Kitty Salas and the hometown team of Keller Williams, Lebanon Appliance, Mitchie's Landscape, Palometto's Insurance, and Sammy B's Restaurant. That's every Friday night after the LHS football broadcast, right here on WANT 98.9, Wilson County's own radio.
And good morning. Welcome again. We continue 17 and a half after. John DeMoore is here. He is paying for the time this morning to talk about his candidacy for mayor. Now, some other things you want to address.
Well, the last time we visited here and I talked with the folks on the radio with my flooding plan, which is on my website, howtheyvoted.com, the specifics of it. But basically, according to the Army Corps of Engineers report, the city of Lebanon has been dealing with a flooding problem for 92 years. My bid as mayor is going to be to get things done. And I've already put a plan together to permanently solve the flooding problem in downtown Lebanon and to address and mitigate the flooding problems throughout the neighborhood. We're always going to have those with heavy rains and the waters rising. Specifically through town, huge drain pipes as we enter the city, go under the city, and exit the city, and clear the drainage areas downstream to make sure that water flows. And that's going to take some studying to see where the low points are, what we need to do to either dredge or perhaps put another section of pipe in. And I'm not opposed to considering a pumping plant to help get that water away from the entire city, not just the core area, and just go down as far as we have to, even to the Cumberland River if we have to, not with pipe, but in addressing the drainage downstream areas. All of the specifics are on my website. The traffic problem gets talked about a lot, and that's always going to be with us with this tremendous growth that we have. So let's meet it head on. And right now we can address that. I can address that immediately in January after I get sworn in. Baddour Parkway is an example. What I'd like to do, I'm going to ask the city council if we can update the name of that and call it Baddour Parkway Bypass. And let people know with signage and with diagrams so that when they immediately see it's a bypass, Baddour Parkway Bypass, they can take that and scoot around the core area if that's not their destination. Also in the signage coming into the city on all points, from I-40, from Main Street, which is 70, and also
Cumberland.
231, Cumberland, yes. Make the signs, let these people know that they can take that around the city, but also so that we don't abandon what's going on in the city and on the way into the city and out. Smaller signs below this Baddour Parkway bypass name and diagram. It will point to restaurants, hotels, motels, services, either into town or around the parkway, and to let people know that these services and businesses are available to them as well. I think largely the huge trucks that just want to traverse from point A to point B instead of going through town will utilize this. That's step one for that. And of course, building will occur as more traffic is fed around Baddour Parkway Bypass. But also, I want to, phase two will be widening the bypass to the extent of 5 total lanes, with 2 lanes each way for traffic. The 5th lane utilized as strategic points of intersections, turning into Don Fox Park, turning into businesses. As they grow, we're going to have that space available as a turning lane. And also, instead of in the middle for turning lanes, at certain points we can have emergency pull-offs, for cars in trouble. But that'll be phase 2 of getting the money together. I want to look at federal grants, state grants to help us with the expense of that. It's going to be a huge expense. But let's start getting it done right now. And that's a thoroughfare that we can use right now. The implementation of phase 1 with the signs, I want to ask the city council to allow us to begin placing the signs before the end of the first quarter. I want to get these things done now. Meetings are fine. You need input from all different areas. But if you don't do something, what the heck good are meetings? Let's get things done.
And that at least what you want to talk about on traffic this morning. Any other traffic issues that come to mind, really?
Well, it's going to be an ongoing issue with our tremendous growth, and we just meet these issues head on. But again, sitting in meetings talking about it isn't going to get it done. Let's talk to the departments that handle our traffic, and let's start planning. I think the Baddour Parkway bypass is an immediate thing that we can do. I wouldn't even be opposed to this being considered and okayed by the city council before I'm elected. Let's do it at the next meeting. Let's have this discussion at the next meeting. Let's get it done. That's my priorities of getting things done. That's what I want to bring as mayor.
All right. What's your next issue you want to talk about?
The airport.
All right.
Our great little airport. This past June, I started trying to communicate with executives at FedEx, UPS, and some of the big global freight companies. They have within their corporation what they call feeder routes. and they use smaller planes to fly in and out packages, which, as we know, home delivery is a huge thing. And so that's only going to grow. I want to utilize growth coming into Lebanon, the people coming in, the construction coming in, as a way to help our city treasury, because the more people that move in here, the more they're going to spend, and the more tax dollars come into our city treasury at current rates. The airport thing, I've talked to them about partnering with us or talking with us as a city, and I warned them that I'm running for mayor, so they know my position on this. Our airport can already accommodate their smaller planes. As an example, Federal Express has a fleet of ATR 72-600 aircraft that are capable of landing on a runway that's shorter than 5,000 feet. Well, our current runway is 5,000 feet. So if we can get them to utilize us as a feeder route, that'll create more jobs, more commerce. We've already got the trucking warehouses near the airport. And as that keeps growing, I'm going to ask them again to partner with us. Perhaps they'll put up the money to help build another warehouse on the airport property, the existing property, as we need it, to move their freight, get the equipment in there. And this is a win-win for everybody in terms of tax revenue into our city treasury. Because the last thing I ever want to do is tell people I've got to raise your taxes. I'll never tell them I'll never do that. But my first priority is to grow our tax base, get more people to contribute as tax contributors.
It's going to cost much money to implement what you want to do at the airport.
Well, it's going to, I think the first phase of it is getting the likes of a FedEx or UPS to say, yeah, we're going to make you a feeder route.
All right.
This is where the meetings come together. We get together with them and say, all right, this is what we have as an airport. What are you going to need as facilities? They may need a different fuel service area. We'll take a look at the expense. See, we're going to contribute into that as well, obviously, and they will. As we're going to kind of grow together on this thing is what I want to do.
It's kind of an investment thing to reap benefits down the road.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a lot of, in terms of construction and perhaps in terms of this, a lot of municipalities want to give people a break on whether it's property taxes or whatever fees. I'm not in favor of that unless there's a string attached to that any break that we give somebody lawfully, they've got to pay back that principal amount in a specific set of time frame so that the taxpayers of our city, they get their money back. In other words, we gave this company a break to come in here. Now you've got to pay it back because we're all in business together. I want to give the best possible take, so to speak, for the taxpayers. I mean, they're the ones that fund all this stuff.
I believe you got one more point you want to discuss.
Well, I think mainly these that I've addressed are really the most important.
Right, we've got 3 minutes left here this morning. So. Yeah. Your campaign, you participated in the debates. It's possible. You've been here on the radio. I guess you've knocked on a few doors.
Oh yes, I've talked to a lot of people. I haven't been able to kiss any babies this time because of the COVID situation. But look, all three of my opponents in the last several years, they've been on the city council. One also as mayor. What have they done? I mean, we're all qualified to negotiate budgets, to spend money when we have money, and to work with our finance department and to work with our other department full of experts to try to get these things done efficiently. But the main thrust, again, for me is to get them done, not just sit there and talk about it. All of us are qualified. I'm not running for bookkeeper or accountant. I'm running to lead this city in these ways, big ways and small ways. And I think we can also do this. The growth is tremendous. It's going to continue. But we can also keep an eye on the infrastructure needs as we grow. In other words, don't let anything grow beyond our infrastructure. We tackle those things. And we can still preserve areas in our city, like the square and some of the neighborhoods.
In order to do what you'd want to do as mayor, you have got to have the blessing of the city council.
Yes.
Would that be a problem?
Not a problem at all. It's all a negotiating process. I've done this for 40 years as a businessman, not just in media, but with theaters. And again, I said, achieving a couple of appearances at the White House took work. I didn't go to committee meetings to do that. But what I'm saying is I believe in accomplishments. Talk about things, get the ideas, but roll up your sleeves and get the job done.
Early voting, I believe we've had 2 days of early voting, and it's going to continue for a while. And then, of course, election on the 3rd of November. You feel confident?
Well, I feel that I've been doing everything that I can. My website is a wealth of the ideas, the specifics that I'll give, howtheyvoted.com. It gives my background, my qualifications, what I want to do as mayor. And these things that I talked about today, the specifics, even more detail, are available on that website.
I've been a little bit surprised at how many people are voting early and how long they stood in line and so on. You've heard that too, I guess.
I've seen it.
I don't know what is attracting, if it's the presidential election, if it's the mayor's election, or maybe all the above. But
Well, I think the priorities that I'm giving, people want that in the city of Lebanon. I'm quite sure that's why they're in those long lines to vote for me as mayor of Lebanon.
Oh, Johnny, it's been nice to have you this morning. We appreciate your
Thank
frank
you.
discussion here. And again, early voting is taking place now, election on November 3rd, and you want to be our next mayor.
Indeed, I do. And I will lead, and to turn a phrase that was used years ago, lead and lead vigorously.
All right. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
That is part one of Coleman and Company. We hope you'll keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
And at 7:29, let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford. And they've got the lifetime brake pad guarantee. With the purchase of a brake service, replacement brake pads will be provided at no cost for as long as the customer owns a vehicle. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Well, good morning. The police, fire, EMS still gathered up on the scene of this wreck over in Neely's Bend. It's the 1000 block of Cheyenne Boulevard. It does involve some injuries. Traffic's starting to pick up now on 109, working your way up towards the interstate there in Wilson County. Traffic's been in pretty good shape for the most part on the major interstate routes, at least for the last 15-20 minutes out here as we watch it pick up on 40 eastbound coming out of Dixon County. Celebrate autumn this year at Ober-Gatlinburg during Oktoberfest. Now through November 1st, visit obergatlinburg.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
Lebanon High School football is live this season on WANT and WCOR. Join Tommy Bryan and the crew with all of the action brought to you by Bates Ford, Cedar Recovery of Middle Tennessee, the law firm of Clemens & Clemens, D.T. McCall & Sons, Fakes and Hooker Lumber, Sheriff Robert Bryan, Lebanon Police Chief Mike Justice, and Wilson Bank and Trust. Lebanon High School football Friday night starting with the pregame show at 6:30 on WANT FM 98.9 and WCOR AM 1490.
Hello. I'm Rick Bell. Lebanon needs leadership. Now is the time to lead our city into the future. I will work every day to manage your tax dollars more effectively, protect our established neighborhoods, recruit and create amenities you deserve, and protect what makes Lebanon a special place to live, work, and play. I'm Rick Bell. I would appreciate your vote November 3rd. Early voting starts October 14th and continues through October 29th.
Paid for by Rick Bell for Mayor, Adrian Kelly, Treasurer.
Gregory Dental in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from University Medical Center. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medore Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
The 2020 Titans have all grown up together. They've had a taste of success in the playoffs, and they're back with Derrick Henry.
Henry 20, Henry 10.
Ryan Tannehill at quarterback.
Tannehill keeping around right end, driving, he's in.
A stout defense.
Titan ball.
And a head coach in Mike Vrabel who's ready to lead them.
Brought to you by Steamlow Plumbing and the Jewelers.
LHS, Cumberland University, and the Tennessee Titans. The winning teams are on WANT 98.9.
It's going to be a chilly fall day out there today. Highs this afternoon will only top out in the low 60s with sunny skies. For your Saturday, temperatures will warm up into the upper 60s with plenty of sunshine. On Sunday, skies will be partly cloudy with highs climbing into the lower 70s. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty. Professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist TJ Scott.
Coleman and Company, welcome to part 2 here on a Friday morning. We're ready to talk with the C&D team of Exit Rocky Top Realty, as we always do. We've got Judy and Dana here this morning.
Good morning
to you both.
Good morning.
How are you?
We're doing good.
Yeah.
Doing good.
Well, I've heard you the last 2 weeks.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Oh, you even tuned into us on vacation?
Well,
oh,
since
wow.
we
We're
stream
honored.
anymore, you can be heard almost all over the world if internet's available, you know.
Well, we should have said a big howdy to you. Yeah.
Well, David Hale was here both Fridays.
He did a good job.
David
Sure
always
did.
does a good job. We appreciate having him. He and Judge Tatum, I guess, are the two who have done this the most, filling in for me. But the others all do a good job. We appreciate that. And I've already thanked them earlier this week. Now, I don't want to take up more time for that, but it's good.
I
to
think they
see
did a wonderful
both of
job.
y'all,
Yeah.
and I think things are going fine. If Miss Judy's in charge, things nearly always go well, don't they?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Nobody knows all behind the scenes. That's the part you don't see.
Oh, well, are you ready to start this morning?
Yeah, well, while we're talking about behind the scenes, we're talking about some people want to know, okay, you get your house for sale, and then you get an offer, and then we work back and forth and negotiate until the buyer and seller have agreed on a price. So then it becomes a contract. The details of the contract have been agreed upon. And usually the first detail is as soon as an offer becomes a contract, then you're going to get your home inspection. And the buyers will order a home inspection that they pay for, and home inspector comes out, does his thing, and then he usually does, most of them are about 45-page report. And he takes pictures of the roof, the attic, underneath the house, and even if there's not anything wrong with the roof, he'll have pictures of the shingles on top so that you can see that he did actually go up on the roof, he went under the house, and he'll usually, most inspectors will write up a list of things that these are things as a new homeowner for maintenance sake that you need to do the next 5 to 10 years. And things that you need to watch for, that this might have a life expectancy of another 3 years. And that gives the home buyer an idea of what they might have to save money for a new roof maybe in 5 years or whatever. Mm-hmm. And usually they will have a list of things that are marginal. They're okay, but they could be worked on. And they'll have a list of a defective. And most of the times a defective is something electrical or water issues or something that's really a major concern for the house. And then after we get the list of all the inspection report, then we go over it with the buyers, and then they decide what items they want to ask the seller to pay for or to repair. And then there's another negotiation part, because people go, well, what if I find all this stuff wrong with the house and then I don't want to buy it? Well, that's a contingency that you put in the contract, that is contingent upon you approving the inspection results. So if the buyer says, I want this item fixed and this item fixed, and we give it to the seller and they say, no, we're not fixing that, you're in that negotiation part that the buyer has the right within so many days to get out of the contract and say, I'm not buying the house because of the inspection results. And the inspection results is also the termite, if you've got a septic tank, checking all those kind of things. If you've got a well, a lot of houses we sell have well water and they don't have city water. So all that has to be checked out to make sure there's a proper permit, it's working properly, and that your water is truly good water. So there's a lot of time frame there. Usually the inspection period is usually 14 to 20 days for you to get all that figured out. And then that's why you just can't usually go buy a house and close in a few days.
Yeah.
There's a time frame there.
And then there's some important issues to be settled
That's
there.
right.
And sometimes sales come apart because the two can't get.
That's right.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's why you'll see a house back on the market or whatever because the inspection failed. Well, normally that seller's going to, if that buyer walks away, they're going to take that inspection and look and see what they need to fix and get it fixed before the next buyer comes along. And then some people want to sell something as is. They don't want to fix anything. So if they say they're selling it as is, the buyer knows that up front, but they still have the right to get their inspection to decide how bad is the as is. So, that's things that we look at. There's all kinds of things that happen after you find the house you want. So,
And you get involved in that too. Well,
yeah.
that's not so bad. You probably, or you better watch that. You
That's
kind of
right.
advise whoever your
That's
client
right.
is. So what's for best for them?
because some things, the way the verbiage is put on the inspection reports, a buyer doesn't see that every day, and they're like, "Oh man, there's 20 items. I can't buy this house." And some of them might be just like a cap on a little
a light switch
or something. So 49-cent item. So a lot of times we know how to read those things and tell them you need to figure out this, and this is something you don't need to worry about.
Another reason to know your realtor and have a good relationship.
That's right. But it does take some time between the time you find the house and the time you close. There's a lot of stuff going on in between there. So I'm going to let my data talk now.
What do you got for us?
So before you get to the inspection period, you've got to find your house. So we need more listings. A lot of people are coming in. They're buying the houses. They're coming in from everywhere buying houses, but the inventory is very low. So we need more listings. However, we do have one coming up soon. It's in Murfreesboro. For the next couple of weeks, we'll probably be talking about it, but it'll be up probably within 2 weeks. But it's in Murfreesboro, and it's going to be a two-level house with 3 bedrooms and 2.5 baths on a fenced-in backyard, and it's in the city of Murfreesboro. So we'll have more details next week about that one. But we need more inventory here in Wilson County as well, and the surrounding counties. People are coming in from everywhere. So before you can get an inspection, you need to call us to help you find your house.
And that number, 615-443-3130.
That's it.
Somebody answers a phone 24 hours a day.
That's exactly right. That's exactly
I'm
right.
not sure every realtor can say that. You've got an answering service, though, if you can be gotten, if need be, at 3 o'clock in the morning.
That's right. And people even have called our cell phones. I'm not going to say we answered at 3 a.m., but we return your call promptly.
All right. Anything else you got this morning?
No, just give us a call, and remember, you don't make a move without us.
All right. Great to have you here, and we'll see you next Friday.
See you next Friday.
All right. C&D team, Exit Rocky Top Realty, Miss Judy and Medina, Judy Cox, Medina Hemmentoller. We are 20 minutes before the hour, actually 19 and a half, we want to be exact, and we're going to be talking on part 2 this morning about the Breakfast Rotary's fish fry that is coming up just right away. Al Ashworth is here, and also we've got this morning
Jessica Fain.
Jessica, good morning to you.
Good morning.
And I know you've been here once or twice before on Coleman and Company, and we appreciate your visit this morning. Al, you're not a regular, but regularly we see you.
Yes, you have.
Both of you, I take it, are members of the Lebanon Breakfast Rotary.
We are. Al has the distinction of being our current president, and I'm a past president. And we're just glad to be with you this morning.
Well, this is happening tomorrow, right?
Yes, 4 to 7, of course, at the Farm Bureau Expo Center at the fairgrounds.
Both of you, I guess if you are officers and so on, you've probably been in the club for a little while. Jessica, how long have you been a member?
I've been a member about 6 years now.
Any particular reason you became a Rotarian?
Well, sure. I mean, Rotary is a service organization dedicated to giving back to our community. And so, although I work in Nashville, I live and was born and raised in Lebanon. And so it was important to me to be part of an organization that did that.
Yeah. And you, Al?
Yeah, I've been a Rotarian, 4 years. Same reason, wanted to do more in the community, and the Rotarians were someone that I admired. Really didn't know a lot about the Rotary, and was brought in by Terry McDonald, was my sponsor, and moved up quickly, was the Sergeant of Arms And then, of course, somehow they tricked me into being president. So here I am.
And like many of us in Rotary, I will say I was recruited there by Gordon Bone. And so he is a charter member of that club and was honored to have him encourage me to join.
Well, this is a fundraiser, right?
This is our annual. This is our big fundraiser.
And I'll have to confess, I don't think I've ever been. And
Shame on you, Coleman.
But we've talked about it a number of times here. And but fundraisers are important, especially to a civic club to do. Most time a civic club is here for certain purposes. There's certain things that the people there feel important to get done in the community, and it takes money to do some of these things. And I mean, mostly I think dues, you pay for dues and meals, and that pretty much covers that. But money that's done for projects usually comes from fundraisers. I think that's true. It's true with the Rotary. It's true with the Lions Club. It's true with Kiwanis and whatever others that you might have or have had in the past. And I think most people understand that. And really here it seems that we have these fundraisers people really support. I think this fish fry has been greatly supported over the years, has it not?
It has. This is the 8th year that we've done the fish fry, and it has grown each year, and largely because of the support of our corporate sponsors who have, signed on and said, we want to support Rotary in their efforts to make a difference in the community. And on an annual basis, Rotary returns between $25,000 and $30,000 to nonprofits in the community, and much of that we're able to do because of this event.
Yes.
Well, it's a 3-hour event tomorrow and going to be at the Farm Bureau Expo Center, and that in itself is a nice place to have anything, but to have this, live music is going to be held rain or shine, fish and fixings, and the tickets. How much does a ticket cost?
Well, if you get the ticket at the event, it's $15, but you still got time to buy a sponsor. If you want to be a sponsor, you can get tickets at a discounted rate if you buy group tickets. And then, matter of fact, speaking of our sponsors, I like to give shout outs to our title sponsors and our corporate sponsors who this year, our title sponsors, of course, are the Pavilion, also the Smyrna Ready Mix, the Middle Tennessee Electric, everyone's familiar with, and then Membership Corporation. And also our corporate sponsors we're very proud of is our J&D Equipment Hauling, HTK Wealth Management, Wonder Porcelain Group, LLC, and Blue Water Industry, and a whole slew of others who have contributed to this. Will be our largest event so far. We have raised more money, believe it or not, than we ever have. And that's amazing if you think about the circumstances of the COVID and all that. And one more thing, Coleman, we will have a drive-through. So people will be able to drive through, and if they don't want to come in and they don't want to be around, a lot of people, they can still get that wonderful fish dinner, and we'll make it available.
All right, we've got to take a break here. We'll talk more with Al and Jessica in a moment, but now a break on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
All right, it's now 7:45. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Absolute Kubota and Rental. Large inventory of new and used Kubota mowers, RTVs, hay equipment, and more. Come in Saturday. Free popcorn. Check out the new Kubota products. 1325 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Well, good morning. We see quite a bit of traffic volume on Vietnam Vets right now coming through Hendersonville. Westbound traffic there on Vietnam Vets all the way to 65. Dickerson Pike at Trinity Lane. We saw that crash there a few minutes ago. They're mopping up that earlier wreck with injuries. And Neely's Bend, 1000 block of Cheyenne Boulevard. Hey, check out the all-new Andre Chicken Sandwich, which is now available at Prince's Hot Chicken. Stop by this weekend, 5814 Nolensville Pike. It's worth that short drive. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
If you're looking for land to build a home, call me.
Call me if you want to put your home on the market.
Call me if you're ready to buy your next home, or if you're a first-time home buyer, call me.
Call me if you would like to know how much your home is worth. Call me, and don't make a move without us.
Call Judy Cox or Medina Himmentoller at Exit Rocky Top Realty. C&D Team, 443-3130.
In times of crisis, and especially when you're isolated, it helps to know someone has your best interest at heart. At Wilson Bank and Trust, standing strong for others has always been one of our most important roles, and we're still here for you now. Through these days of disruption and distancing, you can count on us to keep you connected with your financial services, and will continue to provide financial relief for households and businesses. Thanks for supporting our ongoing commitment to service. Working together, we'll weather this storm too. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
With churches not being able to gather, we wanted to make sure our audience is aware of our regular Sunday morning programming. We call it God's Country. Starting at 7 to 7:15, it's Southern Gospel and Positive Country Music. Then at 7:15 to 7:30, Old Path Missionary Baptist with Brother Jason Wheely. From 7:30 to 8, it's The Gospel Show, hosted by Miss Dean. 8 o'clock, it's College Hills Church with Minister Wilson McCoy. At 8:30 to 9, it's Word of God broadcast by Ronnie Briley. From 9 to 9:30, Hillcrest Baptist Church with Pastor John Ferguson. From 9:30 to 10:30, it's Call on God Today, hosted by Brother Kenneth Bowen. At 10:30, it's Southern Gospel and Positive Country Music. From 11 to 11:30, Maple Hill Church with Minister Rob Long. And from 11:30 to noon, it's Southern Gospel and Positive Country Music. Join us each Sunday on WANT or WCOR or online at WANTFM.com.
And we continue our final segment of Coleman Company here on a Friday morning. We're getting ready for the weekend, I guess. And one of the big things this weekend is what we're talking about this morning. Lebanon Breakfast Rotary's Fish Fry, an annual event. Jessica Fain is here and Al Ashworth from the Breakfast Rotary. You said this is your 8th one to do.
It is. It's our 8th annual Fish Fry.
So
yes.
You've had 7 that have been very successful. And Al, what you told us a few moments ago, you're already reaping benefits because of the sponsorships, the people who stepped up to the plate here. And this is going to be financially your most successful one ever.
Yes.
And that is really good. I think that's really an accomplishment considering what we've gone through here with a tornado in Wilson County in March, we talked about endlessly, and of course COVID, which is still with us. And there's some businesses that are struggling and maybe can't do what they'd like to do. But you listed those sponsors, and you've got a lot more that you didn't have time
it would take the rest of the show, Coleman.
But yeah, that really, I think that really speaks well for your club, that they appreciate what you're doing with the money, which I hope we can talk about a little bit here, as well as the businesses wanting to help the community, and just it's great to be a part of a community that appreciates these sort of things.
And I'd like to give a shout out to the other Rotary clubs in our communities because we collectively come together and help out as well. You mentioned the tornado relief. Mm-hmm. We were able to come together and, as clubs, donate to that as well. We do the Stuff the Bus, which fed 6,000 kids last year. We plan to feed 10,000 this year during the summer months. There's a lot happening. The Purple Pinky project program is coming up for the eradication of polio. So Rotary is international, of course, and that's what makes it so wonderful that it can still be a community effort, and the clubs can come together and work together.
All right, the fish. Let's talk about what is available. It's on the ticket here.
Mm-hmm.
It does say fish and fixing served from 4 to 7.
Yeah.
What all can a person expect here? Maybe this is your first time for the fish fry.
Uh-oh.
Well, you can expect great food, first of all. We'll have, of course, fried fish. We'll have hush puppies. We'll have coleslaw. We'll have French fries. We'll have some chicken tenders for the little ones if they're not game for eating fish. So just in a myriad of desserts. I will say that the club always outdoes itself in homemade desserts, but of course we'll be pre-packaging those to ensure that everyone stays safe and that there's not as much handling and sharing of utensils and things like that. But
well, you expect a pretty good crowd there at the Expo Center.
Yes,
eating there during the 4 to 7 hours. But if you've mentioned before, you've got pickups available.
Yes, and I want to also mention to our first responders, come out. We'll take care of you. We always help our first responders as well. We want to let them know how much we appreciate them and what we do, of course, for the veterans.
Does that mean they don't have to have a ticket?
Well, tell them to come on out. We'll we'll see. But we want to make sure that they're taken care of, and we try to make sure we mention that in every opportunity that these are the people who protect us, who serve every day in the community.
Again, if you wait to the door, they're $15.
$15.
That's whether you drive up or whether you come inside.
Yes.
But if you take advantage of the better deal, you get them for $12. And how do you do that?
Well, you can get a sponsor. We sell them by the $5. If you get the 5 ticket, it's $100, and that way you can give them to your family and your friends. And of course, if you there, as Jessica just said, you're going to get a very good meal at a very good rate, and that money goes to the shelters, it goes to the veterans programs, it goes to the schools, it just goes throughout our community, and it's in very good hands.
Yeah.
Very good hands.
Anything you want to say else about that, Jessica, as far as what the money is used for? I mean, there's a lot of worthy causes here, and I know Rotary is involved in a number of different things. You maybe, I don't know whether it's the same thing every year or how you do that, but you help the community in many ways.
Well, we accept donation requests from our members. We ask that our members sponsor a donation request and have a direct tie to an agency or nonprofit here in town if they'd like to advocate for support. And then on an annual basis, our board reviews those requests and issues probably between 20 and 30 grants throughout the community to various nonprofits. Another collaborative effort would be our annual Habitat for Humanity build. So our Rotary clubs in Wilson County come together to sponsor a build each year. And so those are examples of the types of things that we like to grant back to.
So you're contributing to the community when you support an event like this.
Oh, excellent.
As well as feeding your faces.
Absolutely.
Yes. And she mentioned grants. We also do district grants. We're helping on a water project in East Tennessee to help families put water into their homes in some of the poor communities. So international Rotary, we seek grants for that as well. So it's a lot that we do.
Okay, let's change the subject slightly here. I guess you're always looking for new members, but I was just thinking with what has been going on, I know there's been a period of time here when we didn't hardly meet. We really social distance. Have you had meetings, or how have you done that, say, since March? What's been going on?
I may be able to speak on that because we were very worried where we would meet because of COVID, and we had to meet outside for just a little while. But we've never stopped meeting. We met over the Zoom. We met in the ones that could meet. We have come together and kept the club together. Right now, we have some members that are elderly that we're not encouraging to come to the meetings, but we also make sure that they are still part of the club, still active in that manner. So we're social distancing. We're wearing our masks where necessary. We're cleaning the tables. We're doing everything that we're supposed to do. And so far, knock on wood, we haven't had anything in our club, any kind of outbreak or anything of that nature.
Well, that's great to know. And I guess you're always looking for new members too.
Yes,
we are, absolutely. And we are making some modifications to the fish fry. As we said, we've not done to go before, but we feel like that's an option we should offer people so that will ensure their safety. If they don't feel comfortable, we'll be distancing and spreading out inside the expo center, and so we just want people to be safe.
Yes.
Anything people need to know as far as driving up? If you've got that pretty much where it'll be convenient and easy and so on?
We do, and we'll have folks directing traffic and showing you versus if you're coming inside where to park versus if you're coming to pick up where to drive around to pick up your to-go order.
Yes.
Well, I think it's always been well organized, been very successful, and tickets are still available. I mean, unless you should run out of food, there's not a problem with how many people want to partake, right?
We have plenty of food. We have still tickets. If someone wants tickets, they can contact me, of course, at Custom Color. I have tickets available. And if you want to contact Jessica or someone in our club, if you know people in the club, contact them and they can get you tickets. We'll bring them to you if we have to.
All the details are on our Facebook page. If you
Yeah.
want to follow us on social media, you can
Please
also
do.
reach us there and get more details about the event.
I take it this is something you plan to do indefinitely. It's when you have when you've come up with something as successful as this fish fry has been, and you have as many people joining you in the effort with the sponsorships. So it's something you like. If it ain't broke, you don't fix it. You just keep making it better, I guess.
I certainly hope so.